Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is actually our second time recording. We glitched out on the first part, but it's all right, bro. We didn't say a lot of stuff. I think the other one was kind of better, but this one's gonna be an amazing too. So it's no problem, bro.
We got it.
First of all, I wanted to thank all you guys for the love y'all showing us for the first two podcast episodes, bro. I feel like they were amazing, bro. We had some nice guests. We had some calm people. We had some nice discussions. But this week is going to be all about, since me and my bro and all my friends, we're all like huge sports fans. So it's going to be playoff season is about to come in. So this week is going to be all about, playoff talk and stuff. It's all normal, bro. I want to say my brother's right here with us today. Yo, Yahya, say something, bro, for the audience first.
So, Allah, as you said, it's like the NBA, the playoffs is around the corner. So y'all gonna hear our predictions and how we think about who's winning, who's choking, and etc.
Facts.
Sounds good to me.
Now I want to invite you guys, to the Sheikh, bro. The Sheikh. We got the Hajii with us today. Hajii Liban, bro. Hajii Liban. Say something, bro. Say something, nigga.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Yo, Liban here. I'm with my boys Yunus Yahya. We're about to talk ball today.
Oh.
We're about to give predictions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Third episode of the podcast. Let's get it.
As we were talking before the podcast started about he's a huge Rockets fan. We were talking about the boy he was talking about, Kevin Porter Jr., bro, the next James Harden, aka. Yo, tell us about that performance, bro. Tell us about that performance. How was it?
So the man Kevin Porter Jr., he was playing nice for the whole season, but yesterday he decided to make history. First 50-point game, youngest 50-point game as a Rocket. Youngest 50-point game with 10 assists in history out of every player. And also, he was just on fire. 9 3-pointers. He had one of the best defenders on the NBA guarding him most of the game. Dropped an efficient Drew Holiday dropped an efficient 50-point game on him. Oh man, it was like magic, bro. He was just doing his thing the whole game.
So how is it, bro? Y'all not missing James Harden at all, huh? Houston basketball is back, huh?
Yo, Houston basketball is back.
I haven't heard from you in 20 games now. Now you're hyped up again, huh?
First thing I could talk about. First time I'm able to I got out of the shadows and I'm starting to rep the team again.
Yeah, you were undercover for a few years.
I was undercover. I was just watching it. The Squidward meme where he's just watching everyone.
Yeah.
That was me watching everyone in the NBA.
That Simpsons meme when you hide behind the bushes. Homer Simpson.
That was me for a good 3 months, however long it's been since Harden left us.
So I know y'all at the beginning of the season, y'all had James Harden, y'all had John Wall, Boogie Cousins. Now the only one lasting on the team is obviously John Wall, and he's out injured. So what do you think is the plan for Houston basketball? Is it time to sell everybody and start rebuilding, or do you think y'all can push for the playoffs again?
So luckily, when the Harden trade happened, we were able to get our hands on Christian Wood, another a nice young player, our rookie of the year. I think he's gonna be top 3 in rookie of the year. We were able to get our hands on Kenyon Martin, and last but not least, Kevin Porter Jr. That's the guy who just made history last night. But the way the rebuild's going for the team, everyone, even myself, I thought it was going to be a long rebuild. This at least going to take a lot, maybe at least 3-4 years to actually to make it a decent rebuild. But the second we got our hands on Kevin Porter Jr., a 20-year-old player with who has crazy potential, then I knew it was this could start. This got start as soon as next season. The full rebuild could start that early.
So y'all are officially rebuilding. So there's no your aspiration is not a championship anymore.
Oh, it's officially going for draft picks. We're trying to move a little bit like OKC right now, but we're actually a little bit lucky because at first, how we traded Russell Westbrook for John Wall, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a bad pick. I thought we were okay, man, this is Westbrook's better than John Wall. Like, this doesn't make sense at all. But
Yeah.
they give us a first round pick in that trade. And the Wizards, they have a low spot, so we could get a good pick there. When we traded Covington, we got another pick there. So we got pick. We were getting picks like really, really fast. So that's the reason why.
So can you tell us first? You were obviously like devastated about the James Harden trade, but now looking on it, like for a few couple of months passed by, how do you feel? Do you still feel the same feeling about the James Harden trade? Was it a bad trade? Was it a good trade? What's your feeling about it?
So the thing is, the James Harden trade, like, I'm not, as a Rockets fan, I'm not even gonna lie. We got robbed. They robbed us right there. But everything we did outside of the James Harden trade, we did really well other than trading for him. That was probably the worst thing we did, even though that should have been the best thing. We traded James Harden. We got pieces, picks, young players. So it wasn't that bad, to be honest.
It wasn't that bad. What do you think about the trade for Victor Oladipo and Caris LeVert? Y'all wish y'all kept Caris? Because Victor Oladipo snaked you guys right after. He just left for Miami right after, bro. So you didn't like it in Houston that much, bro.
I knew it was going to be bad because we offered him an extension and he didn't accept the extension. So I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah, that's a sign, bro.
That's a big sign when you don't sign the extension. Plus, he was going to leave us anyway, since this is his last year on his contract. He was going to go to Miami Heat. So he was in a win-win situation. There was nothing for him to lose, but there was everything for us to lose. But, for the Caris LeVert trade.
Yeah, how about Caris LeVert? Any regrets on keeping him or no?
Regrets because he's younger than Oladipo. He's like, if you compare how both of them playing this season, LeVert was playing better.
Didn't he have a heart problem?
He's younger.
Didn't he have a heart problem?
Yeah,
or a disease or something?
So that trade actually, I think that they were saying that trade saved his life because they would have no idea he had some sort of cancer in his kidney. If he didn't get traded, they would have never known that he had that issue.
He would have retired.
That was actually
blessing
in disguise right there.
Like my man LaMarcus, bro. Bless up LaMarcus Aldridge, bro. Amazing career, bro.
I think it was 16 years, 15 years in the league. Solid 15 years.
Sad ending, though. Sad ending. Yeah, he was about to be a champion, bro. He moved just to be a champion, and then that's what happened to him, bro. It's calm, though. He'll be remembered as a great player, though. He was a great player, bro. No, I
think since he played with them too, he's gonna get a ring. They're gonna give him a ring, I think.
Probably. He played more than 2 games, right? Yeah. So
he's definitely gonna get one.
He's gonna get the Patrick McClaw treatment, bro.
Just get a ring. Just get a ring for sitting at the corner of the bench.
Like Giannis's brother last year.
Yo, like we played the same amount of minutes in the finals as him, us and his brother. So that tells you could get a ring. Anybody could get a ring. They're not as important as everyone says.
Anybody can get a ring, bro. No lie, bro. Yo, I wanted to ask you about your coach, Stephen Silas. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm actually pretty impressed because that's his first job in the NBA, and he had to deal with like a disgruntled superstar. He had to deal with like players that are not meshing, players beef, young players that has to control. And so far, he's doing well. So what do you think about him?
Yeah, so like I'm actually like he started off in probably one of the worst situations, like you said. His superstar wasn't happy. The team was falling apart the second he got there. It was actually bad. But the second we traded James Harden and we had people that actually wanted to be in Houston, I think that's when it started getting better. Like obviously we won on the 20 game losing streak, but that's because we were only playing like 8 guys a game, and injuries.
Yeah, because of the COVID too. Because when you have COVID, you're not allowed to be with your teammates, so you can only play with like for us, Dwight Howard was our point guard for one time during the season, bro. He was bringing the ball up and stuff, bro. I was shocked, bro.
And that's the last thing you want to see is Dwight Howard bringing the ball up.
Bringing the ball up, bro.
This COVID stuff
isolation, James Harden, bro, going through the legs and stuff.
And the guy can barely shoot free throws, and he's bringing the ball up. That's not a good look that's not a good look at all for any team in the whole league.
So what was your first impression of Stephen Silas at the beginning? I know for
You
me,
know, like
he looked like a gym teacher, so I didn't trust him that much. You know what I mean? You know those
he
PE
looked like,
teachers that take it too
you know,
seriously. That's what it
you
reminded
know,
me of, bro.
you know, he kind of looks like boot camp guy, you know, like he's like strict, you know. That's what I thought he was gonna be like, but like I think he's actually like a chill person, you know, like
Yeah, the players
he's nice
like
with
him,
the
bro.
players. The new core in Houston, they love him. Like imagine we have new players, new coach. Like I think it's like the perfect way it could be,
It's a
you know.
perfect restart, yeah.
Yeah, the perfect way you could restart the system, you know.
And he
Just
had
like
the worst job so far, bro. He had to do he has to fix all of D'Antoni's mess. I know you're anti D'Antoni. You don't like
that
Mike D'Antoni that much, bro.
Nah, after what he did to us 2018, he kept telling the Rockets to shoot 3-pointers. We missed 27 straight, and we just lost by this much to the Warriors.
What do you think about D'Antoni's his whole coaching career? Top
thing with-
5, top 10. What do you think about it? I know he didn't win nothing, but as a coach, he
Yeah.
had some amazing teams. What do you think about him though so far?
So like, he's the thing about him. If it's regular season, you could expect to win at least 50 games with D'Antoni.
Mhm.
He'll give you in a perfect system. Like we won 65 games with him in one season. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs with him. I think he's under Steve Nash and Brooklyn's coaching staff.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, I
first
heard
in the
that,
East.
yeah.
So like in regular season, like to be honest, you can't get much better than him. Like he knows how to play regular season games, but postseason, you know, Steve Nash struggled in postseason.
And all the guards
Um,
like him because he makes MVP guards. You know that, to
exact
be honest. He makes
Harden,
MVP guards.
Harden
Harden,
was an
Steve
MVP.
Nash. He makes all-star MVP guards. So because their
Russell Westbrook,
players, yeah, also Westbrook too.
he was there for one season, and
His numbers
like
improved so much.
his numbers went up that year. He was in Houston. His
Uh,
best field goal percentage, 27, 7-7. That's like a perfect stat line for like a majority of players like in the NBA.
so what do you think
like,
is his problem though? Like, what's the thing that always holds him back from not winning?
he's too reliant on 3-pointers, you know? Like every single year we had D'Antoni on the Rockets,
Yeah,
we were
bro.
just a 3-point shooting team. Shoot threes, shoot threes, shoot threes, shoot threes. That was our whole game plan. If it was James Harden ISO, kick it out to someone. James Harden ISO, kick it out. Russell Westbrook ISO, kick it out to someone. So that's like that's what I'd say the most issue is. You know, you gotta get more guys involved. There's you know, you just throw it. That's
But I think to be honest, bro, I know the relationship between James Harden and D'Antoni were amazing because they both are offensive minded. But the fact that James Harden is not like that reliant off ball or defensively, I think that sabotaged D'Antoni though. What do you think about that?
exactly like because sometimes like in possession when we had CP3 in Houston, right?
Yeah,
There'd be possessions where it's Chris Paul's turn to work someone, right?
yeah.
So you'd see James Harden, he'd be standing at the logo, letting Chris Paul do it. You know, like I think he didn't like tell him to like you're supposed to, you know, like get a good position. You know, just don't chill at the logo. Don't like, you know, you're supposed to. Like, that's something you're supposed to tell your players. You know, you're supposed to
Yeah.
position them perfectly. That's
They
one thing.
gotta do some like backcourt cuts and stuff, some movement around,
Run
like the Steph
Off
Curry
ball
stuff.
movement.
Steph Curry runs around
Ex-
the whole time.
exactly. If James Harden was like that, if D'Antoni made him like that, run around the whole court like Curry
James
does
Harden
when he
doesn't
doesn't
have
have
the
the ball.
body of Curry though. James Harden is like reliant on the ball because he's a bit bigger than everybody else. You know what I mean? As a guard.
Yeah, he's a big guard. That's the thing. Steph Curry, you know,
Yeah.
he's just slim. He's a lean guard. He could run. He has some of the best stamina in the NBA.
Ever,
But-
bro. Him and De'Aaron, bro.
De'Aaron Fox is a lightning, bro. Lightning bolt. He just
Fast.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Well,
actually
you know what's the good part about him? He's like both sided. He also could defend for you.
De'Aaron
exactly.
Fox can clamp people down too because he's a bit longer than the average guard
He's like-
too.
And he's quick too. You know, usually
Yeah.
athletic guys, they're better defenders. You know, they can move faster, they can move better. So that's one thing about him. That's one thing I like about De'Aaron Fox. Their coach actually, what's their coach's name again?
It's
Sacramento Kings coach.
It's
Ah.
Luke Walton, isn't it?
Luke
He's a
Walton.
Lakers coach. Yeah. The Lakers coach.
Luke Walton. You know, yeah, he was the former Lakers coach. The thing
Yeah.
about him is, like like sometimes he runs a slow offense with the fastest player in the NBA, which doesn't make sense. Like you have the fastest point guard in the NBA, you're supposed to make fast plays. You know, you're supposed to get everyone. You're supposed to
Overall,
get
that
everything
guy
going.
is a bad coach because he doesn't even play his best player, like Buddy Hield. He doesn't even
There's
play him. He keeps
there's
him
one
as a six man. That don't make sense, bro.
there's one time it was a 3-point game. They needed
Yeah.
one shot to tie the game,
Yeah.
and they had a timeout. They could have subbed him in, and he doesn't put in Buddy Hield, their best 3-point shooter, one of the best in the
Yeah, it
league.
don't make sense, bro. You know, because
He's-
some managers have like in football, in soccer we call coaches managers, but in basketball it's coaches. Some coaches have like vendettas against their players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. That's why I don't like it. But you're supposed to keep it like you're supposed to make the best team possible to win.
You're supposed to put it in the perfect position to get the dub. I don't know. Even some guy who doesn't even watch the NBA, not even watch the NBA, doesn't know sports, will tell you put your best 3-point shooter in.
Yeah.
When you're down 3 with one shot left, anybody can tell you that.
Anybody can tell you that. This is logical. Yeah.
That-
I wanted to ask you because me and my bro are like we're new NBA fans. We haven't watched basketball for long, so for your interview, me and my bro had like some things to ask you and some terms we wanted to understand more. One of the terms I struggle with was like 3-and-D. I don't know what that means. What does 3-and-D means in basketball?
So 3-and-D, okay. So 3-and-D is basically like a player who's good at defending, but he can also shoot threes. So like a good example would be like, for example, Trevor Ariza, right? Trevor Ariza is a good defender. He can also shoot threes. Well, Klay Thompson, even though he's like a superstar player, he's a perfect example of that. He's really good at defense and he can shoot threes too. So that's so they get it from, he can shoot threes, you can play defense.
The reason I'm asking this is because one of the games I was watching, one of the commentators was saying that he was calling one player saying that this guy's a perfect 3-and-D player for a championship side. So he should ask for a trade for a championship team, or at the end of his like contract, he should leave for a championship team so he can actually help him out. So are like 3-and-D players important? What makes them important?
In today's NBA, where you have to shoot threes, because you already need players that can shoot threes, right? Yeah. And then getting a player who could play defense as well, that's a big bonus you could get. Because 3-and-D players, you basically could put them on any team you want, and they'll off the bench on the starting lineup, and they could help you. They can help you like in any way, because they could shoot threes if their star passes it to them. They could defend. Sometimes they could defend the best player on their team. So that's like they're actually really important players to have. So 3-and-D players, like Trevor Ariza, like wasn't like a good example because he's older now. He's
so
not
like
that good
Paul
anymore.
George, because they say Paul George is a great defender.
Exactly,
and he's an amazing shooter at the same time. So he's a perfect example. Or Kawhi.
Exactly, some perfect example. Yeah. And also 3-and-D players, they don't even have to be superstars too. Paul George is like a superstar 3-and-D player. But
yeah, bro.
Yeah, yes.
You just give us like a soccer example of like a 3-and-D player.
To be honest, soccer is more of like a basketball. In my opinion, I feel like it's more of a if I'm saying something wrong, you could just tell me. Basketball overall, I think is more of an individual sport, but everybody knows their role individually. Soccer ball, like most of the time in soccer, like a system wins you a game. There's some individual. Yeah, that's the difference between basketball. They talk about superstars, but it's also a team sport, which for me doesn't make sense. So, like, what makes a superstar in the NBA?
Apology.
What? Oh, so
hold up before. So the example I want you to say.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how like soccer, the term is like, it's a 3-and-D. It's like basically a guy that could defend for you and could shoot for you, score points, and defend basically.
Yeah.
So the best soccer term you could put it in is like a box-to-box midfielder, which is you
defense
could score
midfielder, right?
No, it's like basically a box-to-box midfielder. It's like a player that could go forward and back and forth. It's a stamina runner.
Okay, that makes sense.
Facts, actually. That's
so
actually
box-to-box midfielder. Think about it, because box-to-box midfield, you could score goals and you could fuck up people as well.
Defense,
but
defense, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Back to my question,
that's the best example in soccer.
Yeah, that's right, bro. That makes hella sense, bro. But back to my question, what do you think makes a superstar nowadays? Because back in the day, as you know, when you watch like TV, there's channels like TNT and former players talking, and they're saying that they criticize players nowadays because of how they play or that they're soft. So what do you think makes a superstar nowadays?
Okay, so what makes a superstar is, okay, well, there's like a few ways you could be one. You could be like, okay, like obviously LeBron and Kevin Durant, like they're the best players of the generation, right? So like let's go like players other than that, right? So let's look at James Harden's a good example. Someone who could just give you 35 points every night, or someone who could give you 20 points and 10 assists every night, someone who could just fill up your team offensively. They could play make, they could score, because like a lot of the superstars today, like a lot of them aren't good defenders. You know what I mean? Like Bradley Beal, for example. Bradley Beal he's not that good of a defender.
But how are you supposed to play defense nowadays where you're not even allowed to grab the guy anymore? Because back in the 90s, my father always tells me, like, in the 90s, they used to grab you by the hip. They used to keep you away from the rim. They had system on how to stop you, and they were allowed to have physical. How are you supposed to stop a Steph Curry nowadays if you can't even get physical on him?
Yeah, in fact. So like before, like you were talking about, you could push players a little bit, you could get physical with them.
Hard, yeah. You can't let a guy drop 50 on you while you're just walking and stuff. That don't make sense. You know what I mean?
That's one reason why guys like I think that like it's so hard for Steph to guard Steph Curry. You can't touch him. You got to give him his space. But the thing is, Steph Curry is like the best shooter ever. He can shoot from wherever he wants. He can shoot from wherever. As soon as he crosses half court, he's a threat.
I know. So
he can shoot as soon as he crosses.
So how are you supposed to guard a player like that? Because
play like what I hear from some players, like when you're guarding someone like Steph Curry, like you don't try guarding him. You just try making it difficult for him. Try giving him the worst shots possible.
That doesn't make sense, bro.
You can't guard him. You just make it. You just try giving him difficult shots, even though he can make those shots.
Bro, let me help him out. So what he tried to say is, it's like, for example, like a player that's saying, we all know the same what Stephen Curry could go off the ball movement.
Yeah.
He's basically trying to say, it's like, like the white term is, stick to your man, So he wants, when you stick to your man, often, he's not get to like, he's not get into his head, this motherfucker's not leaving me alone. And he just chunk shots. That's what they try.
So you're supposed to like irritate him.
Yeah, I think you need someone like Patrick Beverly, like.
No, I think that's a bad idea because
you gotta get it, bro.
Yeah, but I think that's a bad idea because if this guy can shoot from the parking lot, it doesn't matter if I irritate him, he's still gonna drop 50 on me. So it's gonna be a lose-lose situation for me, bro.
Exactly, like that's the thing about Curry. Like, he's probably one of the most unguardable people ever. Since like you basically can't do anything. You can't do anything against him. I'm sorry. Like when he crosses half court, he's a threat. So like usually like in the only time Steph Curry, the games where he's struggling is when his teammates aren't playing that well, Like let's say Draymond Green's not playing that well, Andrew Wiggins is not playing that well. Like he's gonna struggle a bit, right?
Yeah, bro. He's gonna struggle because he's gonna have to like take on the offensive load because Steph Curry is not good at taking on the offensive load. Like James Harden, if all the players are bad in James Harden's team, he's happy because he could just score 60 himself. That's something he would do, yeah.
Like that's something I noticed because like almost every single star player in the NBA, they're able to bring their teams easily to the playoffs. LeBron can bring his team to the playoffs. Russell Westbrook in his MVP season brought a really bad team to the playoffs. James Harden does it. KD, he played with Westbrook most of his career, but he's done it when Westbrook's injured. So like,
that's the year one MVP, right?
I think Russell's injured that year.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard does it. So that's like, I think that's like one thing that's like he's struggling with right now. Like he's kind of like he's having a hard time, without Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I don't think. How do you think if Klay Thompson comes back? Do you think they'll be like back to normal Golden State self? In my opinion, I don't think it's gonna be back to normal, bro.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna help slightly, but I don't think Klay Thompson is gonna have that huge of an impact, bro, because he comes off from an Achilles and a knee injury.
Yeah, facts. He's coming back to 2 season-ending injuries.
Yeah, so I
this is
don't
gonna be,
think it's gonna help him out that much, bro.
this is gonna be. I think he missed the last 2 seasons. He missed last season. He missed this season. So we don't know if he's gonna be any more athletic. Maybe he's just gonna be like a spot-up shooter if he comes back. But Klay Thompson, when Klay Thompson gets hot, it's almost impossible to guard him. He's one of those guys like when he starts getting hot, he starts getting shots. Like it's impossible to guard him. But here's one thing I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, he makes it easier for Steph Curry because now he gives Steph Curry a whole other threat on the court.
Yeah.
Now you're not only worrying about Steph Curry anymore.
Now they're both running. Yeah.
Now exactly.
Yeah.
And Klay Thompson is also
Off the ball movement too.
He shuts you down.
That's why Draymond became such a great playmaker. He just gives them off the ball to them, bro. He just finds them running.
He has two of the best shooters in the NBA on his team.
I could be the playmaker on that team, bro.
Yeah.
No, but you
get 7 assists a game.
Hold on.
8 assists, bro. Hype me up. 8 assists, bro.
8
Hype
assists.
me up, bro.
8 assists every game.
Hold up.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Who would you say your top 2 best duo in NBA history? Like modern day and like
Back in the day, yeah.
Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. That's one. Also, you could argue Kobe and Shaq is just as good as them. But they didn't have as many seasons together. But let's just go with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And now, that's a tough one because Steph Curry and KD played together, and they won 2 rings together.
How about LeBron and D-Wade?
LeBron and D-Wade won 2 together. That's tough, but because LeBron and D-Wade, they should have won in Dallas in 2011. They should
they should have 3 titles and stuff.
They should have 3 titles, but I'm not like LeBron's one of my favorite players, but he choked that year. He was the third highest scoring player on his team when he should be first by far. So
easily
that's
bro.
But you know what? I'm gonna give it to them too, LeBron and D-Wade, since they won 2 championships. LeBron got 2 finals MVPs with them.
I wouldn't even say I'm gonna say Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen at the beginning because I know they won 6 by themselves. So it's I would say, to be honest, modern day, I would say I wouldn't even say Steph Curry and Kevin Durant because they were great together. But I would say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the way they work together, and the way back in the day they brought up the Golden State by themselves all the way up. And then,
they got 3 together.
Yeah, I would say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, 2 of the greatest shooters ever, bro. How about you, bro?
They revived.
For me, for modern day, I would say it was good when it was really good for a bit. Is when LeBron James was Kyrie Irving. Those 2 combinations. That was sick. Those 2 combinations was khatar, bro. It kind of remind me of the D-Wade. What's his name? LeBron. Kinda, you know what I mean? Dribble, lay off, buff.
They should have had more years together, to be honest.
They should have. But for me, old school. Well, I have to be honest with you. Both of you guys, you guys give me a valid reason about a championship and stuff like that. But for me, I would say, I'll kind of say kinda Team Mac and Vince. Those 2 players.
Air Canada, huh? Air Canada.
They brought basketball to Canada. That duo.
That's one factor. That's one factor for me. Second factor is how J Mac is how Mesquite was. He was the thing I mean by Mesquite.
He got killed by injuries. Yeah, I know.
Killed him. That's what I mean.
Bless him, bro.
You murdered him. But if without the injury, this guy was the most phenomenal player of all time. It was one-time generational. Imagine having a guy that could dunk over. I feel like Vince Carter, if he had the proper training, without training, I feel like he would jump over the plane. That's how hot he is. Dunk on the
Air
plane,
Canada.
Air Canada.
Hey yo, but we got almost 10 minutes left, so we're gonna go through this speed round right now.
Let's go.
The speed round is gonna be I want to do this game with every host of basketball I have around. So the speed round is gonna be quick, light questions between 2 compare. I'm gonna say apples and oranges. Who would you prefer? You gotta give me a small reason. You know what I mean? So
I got
it's
you.
gonna be right now. It's gonna be point guard. So, I would say, Kyrie and Dame. Who do
Kyrie and
you
Dame
like?
Lillard. You know, even though Dame time is in a bad stretch right now, I'm gonna say he's better than Kyrie because Dame. Okay, yeah. Hey, hear me out for 1 second, okay?
No,
Other than dribbling, other than handles,
I'm not taking you.
what does he have over Dame time? What does he have over Dame
No,
time?
we're not friends. We're not friends anymore. خلاص.
No, but Kyrie's a
Listen,
shot
listen,
creator
listen.
though. Like he can create a shot out of
Brother.
nothing.
Yeah, the thing is, Dame Lillard, he
Even,
doesn't even need to.
Liban, before you give me an example,
Mhm.
what do you consider a point guard though? Like for me, I consider a point guard is a player that could like dribble past as much, could dribble at any people he wants to, and could give that crispy pass, like penetration
Exactly.
pass, you know?
Mhm.
For me, that's what I consider it. For me, I would say Kyrie.
That would
Kyrie
be Dame,
could do
bro.
that.
That would be Dame, bro.
Dame,
I would give it to
think
Dame,
about it.
bro, because Dame
And then,
gets
you
his
also-
teammates better though.
You
Kyrie
also,
doesn't get his teammates better.
you also, for me as well, you have to have flair if you're a point guard. You're like the main star, you know what I mean? For me, I would say point guard is the main star. You
Yeah.
have to have a little jab, Iverson thing, you know?
Yo, how about Dame time, bro? That guy, bro, from the logo, bro. Logo Lillard,
He,
bro.
he,
Good,
he,
I'm not
look,
saying-
he just shoots it from anywhere.
Logo,
He's like
bro, yeah.
For me,
he's kinda
he
like
is good.
Curry.
Wallah, I'm not hating on him. But if you give those two options, I'll take Kyrie.
Mhm.
Next one is gonna be Shaq or Duncan. I like this question
Shaq
a
or Tim
lot.
Duncan.
Shaq or
Okay,
Duncan.
now this.
Duncan.
Okay, the
No,
reason
fuck
this one's
Shaq.
hard is
Shaq's trash, bro. Shaq did nothing, bro. Shaq
Okay.
is literally grab, dribble, elbow, shoot. That's
he
it.
bodies you,
It's
and
just bodies, yeah. But
He'll
if,
break the
if
net on
God
you.
give you that, yeah, why you gotta deny it? You gotta use it, bro.
I'd
If
abuse
God-
that ability. If
Yeah,
I can
no,
have
you
it,
gotta use it. So you want him to just imagine if he was on your team and he's like that big. Are you gonna tell him, yo, keep shooting the ball or get your ass in the post?
get in there. Get in there. That's
Get
what I'm
in there,
talking
bro.
about.
What the hell? I wanna win.
You're crazy if you're not in there.
One of the reasons I say that is look at the two options you gave us first.
Mhm.
You gave us Mr.
Shaquille.
Fundamental
Mhm.
and Shaquille O'Neal. Think
Mhm.
about it, bro. For me,
So-
it always goes back to the people that are I'm like old school, Allah. Fuck it, I'm old school.
Mhm.
I'm a player. I'm a fan of like a person that does the fundamentals. For example, the point guard dribbles and a a good pass, flair,
Facilitate.
stuff like that. Like, I would take Magic any day of the week. I'll take Magic any day of the week.
Mhm.
That's the type of players I like.
Who'd you
Yeah.
take, Ali?
So, like,
Who'd you
players
take?
like, what's his name?
Mr. Liban, who'd
Me?
you take? Shaq
To start up like, okay,
Shaq
so-
or Duncan?
in their primes, Shaq was
Oh.
definitely better. But
Yeah.
career-wise, Tim Duncan had a better career.
That's true, yeah.
Tim
How about
Duncan
this?
had-
Done with you.
How about this, bro? How about this?
Mhm.
R.I.P., bro. Mamba or Jordan? Who's your favorite, bro? This gotta be a personal favorite. I know Jordan is better, but R.I.P. Mamba or his
Who I-
airness? Who'd you like better?
Okay,
I'm
You
telling
know
you, I
Kobe?
like Kobe better. I like Kobe better than Jordan. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably like Kobe too more. You know, like he's basically
But for
Michael
me-
Jordan with a
for me,
3-point shot.
what?
You know,
yeah. Bro.
I
Nah,
like-
but Kobe made me what, like when I was watching Kobe, I could see that. Yo, it doesn't matter what this guy is gonna do. This guy just wants to kill his opponent, bro. Jordan had the
Yeah.
same, but Kobe used to be disgusting, bro.
and then
Kobe
60
was
points in the final.
disgusting.
For me, all three of us finally agreed on one person.
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah?
Kobe Bryant, Kobe
Kobe.
Bean Bryant.
Even it's basically like this name. For me, I would say Kobe, but another thing, Kobe or LeBron. Those
Kobe.
two. Who you pick?
Kobe, bro.
Okay, me, you know, I'm a LeBron fan. He's one of my favorite players, so I'm gonna
Nah.
have to go with LeBron there.
I'm taking
you know,
Kobe, bro. Nah,
'cause
bro, I'm taking
Kobe
Kobe, bro.
of the week, bro.
The day LeBron became one of my favorite players is when he took down the Warriors in the finals. After what the Warriors did to us for how many years, and he took them out,
Yeah.
I started to love him after that. He became my man after that.
Okay,
I would still take Kobe over it, but I respect LeBron. LeBron is a great player.
You
I'm
think
not
he's the
hating on
GOAT?
LeBron too.
LeBron?
Yeah.
Wallahi, to be honest, I'm not that much of a basketball fan for our modern day. He is the GOAT of modern day.
Facts.
But of
No
all
question
time,
about it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched a documentary Jordan did, bro. That converted me to him, bro.
Yeah,
The last dance documentary, bro. That killed me, bro. The
I'm
way
not gonna
they
lie. I
used
didn't
to,
like Jordan that much.
you know, the reason I don't like him that much is that they dick ride him too much, though.
And the
Even players that used to play against him dick ride him. I don't understand that, bro. If you're a competitor, don't dick ride the guy that beat you.
They won't even open their ear to Mike to saying LeBron's better. They're just gonna no, MJ was better.
That don't make sense.
So
I feel like it's like a personal bias because MJ used to beat the crap out of it. They started thinking it. Yeah. It's an ego thing, bro.
He ran the 90s.
He ran the 90s, bro.
He ran the 90s. Nobody was winning on his watch.
Charles Barkley used to play golf with them and shit, kicking it. That's stupid. And
the next day, they were like going at
beating him up in the finals. He's dropping like 40
three more questions now. 3 more questions left.
Bet.
NBA champions this year. Who you got?
NBA champions? Okay, so obviously, if this team stays healthy, Brooklyn Nets, there's nobody in history who could beat them. That's what I'm going to say right now. Nobody in history could beat the Brooklyn Nets if they're fully healthy.
Yeah, who you got champions this year?
Hold up. Well, I honestly, for this particular reason that Liban gave me, I'll say Brooklyn. Based on not based on his answer, but based on his answer, it's going to make me change my real answer. Okay.
Boston Celtics?
Bro! all right, bro. Me.
Listen to my case, though. Listen to my case. Okay.
Get your case quick, bro. Let's go. Talk your shit, bro.
The reason I changed it is the way how Liban worded it out, basically. If the word healthy.
Yeah,
I'm back. I'm old school. I'm old school as well. I'm new school. If the word if it's a word that is in the air. It's nothing gonna happen. You gotta pick it and go for it.
Exactly.
Me, I would pick, to be honest, bro, if I could pick my team, it'll be 76ers. But to be honest, bro, my hunch is, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know this team flopped last year, but I'm saying the Clippers this year, bro. No lie, bro.
Oh, okay.
I think they're winning this year, bro. Paul George is looking serious, and this is Kawhi's last year, and you know what he does every time in his last year, bro.
His last year,
he takes titles home. He takes titles home.
He holds the Finals MVP every time in his last year.
It's gonna go to LA, but I'm thinking it's the Clippers, bro. Not gonna lie to you.
And let me tell you something about the Clippers. I feel like they're gonna be the best match against the Nets if they face in the finals.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they can actually defend together. Yeah, that's and stuff.
PG, Kawhi, and Beverly.
Yo, our last question of the day. I know I said 3 questions, but it's calm. Our last question is gonna be this question. Me and him argue about it. We've been arguing like through every episode of the podcast. We want you to hear your case: hard work versus talent.
Okay.
What side you on?
So it's actually that's a nice question. I like that question.
Yeah.
So the thing about talent is talent guys are guys like, let's say, talented NBA players. Are you saying if they're both in the NBA or just in general?
Just in general.
In general.
Okay. So obviously, if hard work gets you the farthest, because talent like you just do whatever you have, and then you could just work with it. But hard work, you could build those traits, you could build those strengths and stuff like that. But guys in the NBA who are talented, everybody in the NBA is talented. There's nobody in the NBA who isn't talented.
That's true.
They work hard on top of their talent, but hardworking guys in the NBA are the guys like LeBron, KD. Those are like the best players. So I'll give the edge to hard work.
Hard work. All right.
Come on,
we wanna thank you for your appearance on the podcast, my brother. You were actually a sick guest. Our discussions was actually hella fun. Yo, I'm gonna link all your stuff on Instagram for the shout outs and stuff. All right, brother. Thank you for appearing, bro.